Hello guys, welcome to sportsbookreview.com. I'm Natalie Rydstrom, got sportswriters Martin Green and Stuart from tipsterhq.com with us. Now, as promised, it's a new show that we're trying out, looking at the Championship here, the rundown, so it's the league below the Premier League. For those who don't know, it's in week 32 right now, so the teams that are at the bottom of the Premier League, they get relegated to the Championship. But one thing that is great with the Championship is there is plenty of value, and that's what we're all about, is finding the value and making money. But I was talking with Stuart from offhand, it's a bit tougher to predict, isn't it? You've got the value, but it's tougher to predict. How do you feel, Stuart? Do you feel confident?
Nervous. This is always a league that tends to kick my butt, and I have to be very, very careful about what I'm doing in it, because there are things that seem to make sense and then they just go completely the other way for some reason.
Yeah. What about you, Martin? What's your take on Championship betting?
I'm excited. I love this league, particularly as you come towards the end of the season too, because so much is at stake. Promotion to the Premiership is worth £170 million to a club, which is more than $200 million getting promoted. And but like Stuart says, it is a bit unpredictable because I think because there's a lot of games, there's more games per season, so the players get tired, and you do some unusual results. And but yeah, it makes for great value and. Plenty of exciting times ahead, I think.
All right, listen, let's kick off. Okay, Aston Villa versus Barnsley. Aston Villa 1.83, draw 3.8, and Barnsley 5. The Villains, they haven't won a match in 7 played. Really not looking good for them there. Anybody got a tip from this match? Start with you, Martin.
I think that one would probably have to be a pass for me, I'm afraid. Aston Villa should really have taken this division by storm. They're stalwarts of the Premiership. You'd expect them to go down and come straight back up, but hasn't happened for them at all. They've been in dreadful, dreadful form. Stand no chance of getting promoted. Barnsley are another similar sort of mid-table, unpredictable side. So I'd leave this one alone.
Yeah, I actually have got a tip for this match, but go on, Stu. What are you liking?
No, I fully agree with Martin. It's one to avoid. I think Aston Villa will be fine in the next 2 seasons because they've got another 2 seasons of parachute money coming in. And now they have got a good manager, a good steady manager who's got clubs promoted in the past from this league, so he knows the actual competition. But for me, this one right now, I think it's best to avoid. I think there's very good odds on Barnsley, who are higher up in the league, got the better form, but one to avoid, I think.
Oh, I don't know, guys. I think you've missed a bet here. I'm going for Barnsley and the draw. Get goals there. 2.1 at Ladbrokes. The reverse was 1-1 at Barnsley. Don't forget, Barnsley come from a 0-0 draw playing Reading. Not a bad result considering Reading are in 4th place. I think Barnsley will get something out of this. Barnsley and the draw. Obviously, Villains haven't won a match in 7 played, but there is a high possibility of that draw there at Aston Villa. Barnsley and the draw, 2.1. All right, Brighton versus Ipswich. I think this is actually one of my no bets, but I do have leans. Obviously, it is a must-win for Brighton. They're 1 point below first place Newcastle. You know, it's getting to the second half of the season. They've got to win this, but Brighton's low, 1.55, whereas Ipswich have little to play for. They're in 13th. In 13th, they're safe from relegation, but they are 13 points below 6th place. Anybody got a tip here?
I'd tip Brighton for this one. Ipswich did win last time out, but that was their first win in 6, and it came against the Aston Villa side, who I just mentioned have been in horrendous form. Brighton finally look like they're going to get their act in gear and try to hold on to that automatic playoff spot. I think, automatic promotion spot. I think 1.57 doesn't look great odds, but I fancy them to win it. And if you want a bit more value, Brighton half-time, full-time at 2.5.
There you go. So a confident Brighton win. Like I said, this is a lean for me. I'm just not sure what Ipswich are going to bring to the table, whether they can score. What about you, Stuart?
The results on these have been very evenly spread out over the last few seasons. I think you've got 1/3 have been wins, 1/3 have been draws, and 1/3 have been away wins. So, you know, it's very difficult to call. Obviously, Ipswich are doing pretty badly, and I think there's a very good chance they'll be changing manager later on in the season. And Brighton doing very, very well. But for me, the odds are just too low to take that risk.
Yeah, I was looking at Brighton -1. You can get that 1.99. I was even looking at the under 2.5 goals, but the last 4 of Brighton's matches have gone over 2.5 goals, and we're only 2 of Ipswich's. So it's one of those ones that could go either way. I'm on a lean, but definitely for the Brighton there for the accumulator bet. All right, Derby County versus Cardiff. Derby County 2.1, draw 3.3, and Cardiff 4. Derby are in 8th place, must win 6 points from the top 6. Anybody got a tip here, Stuart?
Yeah, I like the draw on this one. Around 3.3, I think there's a little bit of value in that. Again, this is an area where if you look back over the previous seasons, you can see a real difference in terms of number of draws. 57% of the games in the last 4 seasons have been draws between these two. So if that carries on, we'll pick up a nice little profit.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go for the. What am I going? I think I'm going to go for the home win. I have to say, 2.1. They're just stronger at They're stronger at home than Cardiff are on the road. Just 4 wins Cardiff have picked up compared to Derby's 7. What about you, Martin?
If I was going anyway, I'd probably lean towards Derby, but they have run out of steam a bit in recent weeks. They looked great when McLaren took over and got them right up the league, but I think they'll be a bit worn out because they had a bit of an epic game against Leicester in the FA Cup recently. So I think, yeah, it could end up a draw, maybe a narrow win to Derby, but Cardiff are a bit of an unpredictable team as well, so I'd sort of back away from this one.
You're right. So do you think that this could be a pass, Stuart? Are you confident about that draw, or when all said and done, is this a pass here?
When all said and done, it's a pass. I think there's value on the draw. I wouldn't be betting much money on it if it was really small bet.
Yeah. Okay. Next one, Fulham versus Nottingham Forest. Fulham 1.57, draw 4.4. Nottingham Forest 6.25. Fulham in 9th place there, 6 points below 6th place. Both score, both concede. I have to say I'm going for both teams to score. I like that bet. 1.71. What do you like, Martin?
I'd happily put Leeds in an accumulator here, I think. I watched Forest play Norwich at the weekend and it was a horror show. They lost 5-1 and Norwich were banging in all sorts of goals from 35 yards out. Nottingham Forest goalkeeper got injured in the process of conceding one of them, so they're down to their 3rd choice keeper now, and I think that could come back to haunt them against the pretty good Leeds side. I wouldn't be putting loads of money on it, but yeah, I'd fancy a Leeds win here.
All right, what about you, Stuart? Pardon?
It's Fulham playing Leeds, isn't it? Fulham playing Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, Fulham playing Nottingham.
Ah, sorry. Well, even better. Were Leeds playing them, it would be a write-off. But Fulham still, I think, yeah, Fulham can cover that as well. Fulham are a decent side at home. And anyone really in the top half of the table should be able to take advantage of a Nottingham Forest side pretty low on confidence right now. So, yeah, Fulham.
All right, so taking the Fulham 1.57. Yeah, not a bad bet. I like that one too, but I like both teams to score. Stuart, over to you. What are you liking?
I prefer your both teams to score than the straight Fulham win, I have to say. I think Fulham have had a little bit of a wobble. Maybe they've come through it now, but it's not been a particularly great season for them. I very much doubt they'll be going up, and I think they'll be having their minds on the FA Cup.
Oh, yeah, that's true. So are you going for both teams to score as well, or is this a no bet?
It's a no bet for me, but I like your one, is all I'm saying.
Oh, thanks, Stu. Moving over, we've got Leeds versus Bristol City. Leeds 2.1, draw 3.4, and then Bristol 4. Definitely tempting odds there for the home win. Just don't like it when they're really good. So I don't know. I always think it's like a dangling carrot. What do you like in this match, Stuart?
I love the Leeds win. I think, all number of reasons why you should go for them. I really, really like Gary Monk as a manager. I think he's actually doing some good work at Leeds. And I think he's got the record as the longest manager at Leeds under the current ownership. So he's obviously doing something right.
He's only been there about 5 minutes, so that's something.
He's only been there 6 months, yeah.
They're going through a bad run though, Leeds. 2 back-to-back losses, 1 to Cardiff City. Maybe this is the match that they turned it around. Martin, what do you like?
Yeah, I'd be put off, like you say, by those consecutive defeats that they've suffered. Not at the hands of particularly amazing opposition last time out in Cardiff, and I think Bristol City might go there and nick a draw. So I'd pass this one.
Ooh. One of the ones I'm looking about also going against the trends. The stats really point to an over 2.5 goals, but we've got Leeds that are playing for a top 4, top 6 finish, and then we've got Bristol that are fighting relegation. You know, will both teams try and sort of nick a goal, keep it tight? Under 2.5 goals is actually going with the bookies. 1.73. Is this going to be an unders game, Stuart?
No, I think we'll probably see both teams scoring. I think we'll see over 2.5. Bristol are very, very poor this season. I think they are going down. So, yeah, both teams scoring is my bet.
All right, there we go. Going down. Norwich City versus Newcastle, the key match for tomorrow there. Valentine's Day also. Newcastle 2.8, Norwich 2.8, and the draw 3.3. Now, there's often a common expression, and it's like when you cannot divide the odds, which clearly you can't, nor the stats, you go for the draw. Is this the case here, Martin?
Yes, go for the draw. You said it.
Go for the draw. Yeah, they say if you cannot split it, and that's the only time that I go for the draw.
I think a draw would really suit both teams here. Like you say, it's that unstoppable force and immovable object. Newcastle have won 11 out of their 15 away games. Norwich have won 11 of 15 at home. So you would fancy them to cancel each other out, and that could well happen here. Have to say, I was very impressed with Norwich, the way they demolished Nottingham Forest at the weekend. They have just lost their star player, but yeah, I think they can make a real good fight of this. And yeah, I'd still fancy the draw at 2.81, but if I was leaning either way, I think Norwich might pull off a surprise win.
Yeah, I'm exactly with you, Martin, but both haven't lost a match in 5. Norwich draw no bet has got value there, 1.91, so that's often one to play. Alex there, needfortips.com, our buddy who's watching, he is saying, is it a draw with goals? Well, the reverse saw 4-3. Are we going to see another goal frenzy here?
Yeah, I definitely fancy both teams to score in this game. Yeah, I mean, Norwich just put 5 past Nottingham Forest, as I keep saying, but Newcastle are probably the best attacking force in the Championship, really, when it all comes down to it. But do leave gaps at the back on the road. So, yeah, that looks a good option, both teams to score.
Yeah. Certainly the key fixture, certainly one to watch. It's the one I'll be watching. Stuart, are we going to see goals? Is this even an in-play match?
I think this is one to take a look at and see how it goes. Personally, I think I'd be leaning towards Newcastle. Having listened to everybody else, it's probably a good thing that I'm staying out of it. Although, I can see on the YouTube channel, people or both teams to score. Yes, Cav92 CFC is saying you can get it for around 1.8. I think that's a pretty good option.
Okay, there we go. Opinions slightly divided, but do you think there are going to be goals, Stuart, from both sides?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Preston versus Birmingham. Preston 2.1, draw 3.4, and Birmingham 4. Now, the reverse was 2-2 draw. Their last 3 fixtures have seen the draw. I think it's gone 2-2, 2-2, and 1-1. Obviously, all draws there. I don't like it when there's a trend like this. The lean would definitely be towards the Preston win, but I think instead I'm going to take both teams to score 1.91. The home advantage obviously is key, though. Birmingham do struggle on the road, so Preston could be the bet, 2.1. I do like both teams to score their 1.91. Stu, what are you going for?
Staying out of this one completely. I think Birmingham, bit of a mess since Zola came in. They brought him in thinking he'd bring in some stability, but it's just been an absolute nightmare since he got. I think he's won 1 game since he joined the club. That is very, very bad going.
All right, Martin.
Yeah, again, I'd be leaning towards Preston here, but this would be a pass for me. I'm just looking at their recent form. 4 of Birmingham's last 6 games, only 1 team has scored, and 3 of Preston's last 6 games, only 1 team has scored. So, be a little bit nervous about that bet, and I'd pass. But if pushed, I'll go for a Preston win.
There we go. Oh, so this is looks like it's maybe the best tip for this match is to pass on this one. Maybe just one to watch. All right, Rotherham United versus Huddersfield Town. I've put this down as my banker. I've got two bankers actually, I think. But let's over to you, Stuart. Go on, tell us you've got a bet for this match.
Yeah, I've got a bet for this. I'm on Huddersfield. I think they're a pretty good side. They've impressed at times this season. They got two decent goal scorers in Naki Wells and Kachunga. So I think, you know, with the kind of force that they've got, the strength that they've got, I think they can get some goals, and I think they can win this one.
Yeah, absolutely with you. What about you, Martin?
Yeah, totally with you. This is one of my two bankers as well. I think this looks a really good, very generous price actually on Huddersfield. Yeah. They've really hit form of late. They've won their last 5 in a row. They started the season fantastically.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fell away in the middle of the season, and now they're coming back, and they're really putting pressure on Brighton in that second spot. And they're playing against the bottom club, who are in absolutely diabolical form. I'm surprised to see the odds so generous, and I think 1.73 looks a great bet.
Yeah, and Rotherham also seem to have given up. You know, they're 9 points below 23rd place Wigan. That's quite a lot to catch up. Yeah, it's almost like they've ended their season and packed their bags for their summer holidays. Whereas Huddersfield, on the other hand, are doing the reverse. They're fighting for the title. They really sort of like stepped it up again. They've only lost 1 match in 10. 1.73, absolute banker for me. I love that bet. All right, Sheffield Wednesday versus Blackburn Rovers. Sheffield Wednesday 1.62, draw 4, and Blackburn 7. I think I'm just going to go for Sheffield, a straight Sheffield win. For me, there's enough value there, 1.62. The reverse, obviously, saw 1-0 to Sheffield at Blackburn. I think they'll do it. Sheffield are stronger at home than Blackburn on the road, only picking up 2 wins. Sheffield win for me, 1.62. What do you like, Stu?
Staying out of this one, I find it very hard to back Sheffield. I just can't see it. I know there's a massive disparity in the league positions, and Sheffield Wednesday are in good league form, but for me, Blackburn Rovers, they're a side that can eke it out occasionally and just cause the upset. So for me, I'm staying out of it. All
right, Martin.
Interesting. This is actually my other banker, Sheffield Wednesday, 1.6. I'm putting Sheffield Wednesday in a double with Huddersfield. I really like this Sheffield Wednesday side.
Yeah.
A few times this season, they attack with real flair and gusto. They've got Forestieri up front doing a great job, and I think they can beat a rather limited Blackburn side. Yes, they are a bit unpredictable, Blackburn, but I think Sheffield Wednesday can get the job done at home. And 1.66, I like that in a double.
Mm-hmm. The other bet that I actually really like for this match is both teams to score. Now, whereas Rotherham seem to have packed their bags and left, we've got Blackburn, who are actually fighting relegation. You know, they've scored in their last 7 matches, and these are to teams including first place Newcastle, 3rd place Huddersfield, and 5th place Leeds. I think both teams to score definitely could be a bet here, 2.2. Does that one tempt you, Stuart?
The both teams to score, that one does tempt me, I have to say, but I think you've just given me exactly the reasons why I should stay away from a Sheffield Wednesday win.
Okay, all right. What about you, Martin? Do you like that both teams to score bet?
Yeah, it looks interesting. It does look interesting to me, but I'll still be sticking with the Sheffield Wednesday win. Their last 2 games, actually, they've won to 0. So they do keep it quite tight at the back. So I'd fancy them just straight win, Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah. I've got here like Manuel Morim as well. They're like a discussion saying obviously there's lots of value. When we started the show, we said there is lots of value. It is very competitive, and it's obviously football is unpredictable. In the end of the day, we try our best to sort of study and predict the outcomes, but this is more so unpredictable than the Premier League. And Stu, you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the Premier League is a fantastic competition to watch. It's difficult to bet on because the bookies are so tight on it. They're not as tight on the Championship, as you can see from the odds, but at the same time, it's so competitive. There's so much money at stake for the clubs that go up that everybody's scrapping all the time, apart from Rotherham.
I tell you as well, though, whereas I'm more likely to have a bet on most of the Premier League matches, in the Championship I will pick out a few that I really like, and they're these ones I'm going for my bankers. Like, I absolutely love Huddersfield 1.73, and again I'm with you, Martin, on that Sheffield Wednesday win as well. I think there's enough value there just to take it. So there are some matches that you can go for, but maybe just don't bet on them all. There are a few as well, 12. So maybe, pick out your favourite ones. All right. Wolves versus Wigan Athletic. Wolves 2.05, draw 3.5, Wigan 4.2. Oh, those odds with Pinnacle. Reverse 2-1 to Wigan at home. Stuart, are you playing this match?
I'm playing this one, but really, really tentatively. I will not be going big on this. It might just be like a £2 bet, frankly. I think Wolverhampton Wanderers can come through in this one, because I don't think much of Wigan. I think Wolves have got some quality in that squad, certainly up front. They've got the ability to put a team to the sword, certainly a side that's struggling. So for me, they should be able to win this one, but it's going to be a very small bet, and I really won't mind too much if it loses.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards Wolves, but I've got a little sneaky suspicion of the draw here. Martin, what are you going for?
No, I don't like it at all, I'm afraid. This one, definitely a pass for me. Last two games, Wolves have lost, and they lost 2-1 to Burton Albion, who are relegation fodder. So I'd definitely back away from this one. No interest in it.
Relegation fodder. That's a good one. All right. And one of the ones, I was looking at Wolves draw no bets. If I had to play something with that super low 1.4, I wouldn't even put that in an accumulator because I don't feel that strong about it. But if you do look at the trend of their last matches that they have separately played, both scoring, both conceding, over 2.5 goals, both teams to score 2. I think we're going to see both teams scoring over 2.5 goals. That seems to be the trend for both of these two teams.
Yeah. I think that one's got a good chance coming in.
All right.
Yeah, why not? Wigan leak a lot of goals, and Wolves aren't particularly strong at the back either.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right. We'll put that on the I'll think about side to bet on. Reading versus Brentford. Reading 2.25, Brentford 3.4, and then the draw 3.75. Reading, they're in 4th. Great shape. They haven't lost a match in 5. They're fighting for a top 4 spot. And just Reading 2.25. Why are they 2.5? Brentford, very little to play for. They've got 4 road wins compared to Reading's 10. Why are they priced so high? Should we avoid it because it's a dangling carrot? Martin.
I have an idea as to why Reading are so high, because when these two teams met earlier in the season, Brentford won 4-1. So it would take quite a large turnaround for Reading to win this one. But I still think they can do it. Recently, the form has massively gone in favour of Reading. They're fighting at the top half of the table, whereas Brentford have fallen away and don't really have much to play for. But I think that's why the odds are so generous, because in recent head-to-head, Brentford did very well. The bet I actually really like the look of here is the over 2.5 goals at 1.8. All 6 of Brentford's last 6 games have seen over 2.5 goals, and so have 4 of Reading's last 6. So, and the last game between these two saw well over 2.5 goals. So I think we're in for a goal fest here, and 1.8 on over 2.5 goals looks great to me.
Goal fest. What about you, Stuart? Can you make out why Reading is priced so high? Should we take them?
Probably because Brentford have won 4 of the last 5 matchups between these two in the league, so that might explain it. The only thing that's going for me against Brentford really is the fact that they sold their top scorer over in January. They're languishing lower down the league. Reading, they're pushing for automatic promotion, if not a playoff spot. I think that Reading can do it, but this is one I'm staying away from.
All right. I think I'm gonna just dive in there for that Reading win, take a chance. He who dares wins, I suppose. 2.25. I'm going to take it. Okay. So final part of the show. You've got to do your banker and 2-team parlay. I can start if you guys need to think.
I've got
right.
Have you got yours? Okay, go.
So I'm going for Huddersfield, banker, Huddersfield and Sheffield Wednesday, 2-team parlay.
Yeah. And then your banker?
Huddersfield, yeah.
Huddersfield, yeah. Sorry to be boring, but I'm exactly the same. I really like those two, and I've written it already before anybody even said, look, banker, there are my notes, in case people think I'm copying. Stuart, what are you going for?
It's nice that your banker was in bold and underlined. It was that sure. I'm with both of you. 1.73, 1.74 with Huddersfield. I think that's a really, really good set of odds. And combine that one with my Leeds bet. I think that one, you know, as it is at higher odds, so it will help things out nicely. So 2-team parlay, Leeds and Huddersfield winners.
There we go. All right, guys, let us know in the comment section what you thought of the show. Was it helpful? Did you get some good insight there into the championship and what to bet on? Bearing in mind, tread more carefully with this league, far more unpredictable. Maybe go with our bankers and the ones that we felt really sure about. Do note that there were quite a few matches that either we all had different opinions, or a lot of us were saying pass. So tread carefully, but there is value to be found and money to be made here. That's why we're doing this show. And anyway, let's hope Valentine's Day tomorrow, guys. Happy Valentine's.
Oh, happy Valentine's, Natalie.
Yay! Hey, well, and actually, the biggest Valentine treat is the Champions League round 16. We will be here 9 a.m. Costa Rican time. There will be the group round table of us with all the familiar faces giving up.
I have a rose in my teeth.
Pardon?
I have a rose in my teeth and serenade.
You can serenade us. I can't wait. I love Valentine's Day, I have to say. So I'm looking forward to it. Anyway, so best of luck, guys. Thank you so much for coming on the show, and I'll see you tomorrow morning.
Yeah, see you tomorrow.